the AC. Hot takes.
Lights, camera, and action is large. Eagles get flattened the door to this debate. Why I hate and get irate. We rate and irritate. Your game is on my plate. The fans anticipate. Of course, we give them great.
Gonna turn up the AC. Got the temperature raising. The latest, hottest takes. No bias for ratings. We coming with straight heat. That's why it's amazing. Go ahead and share the link if you feeling what they think.
Pulling daggers like Katie. Launching missiles like Brady. Hot takes on the daily. Outcome is amazing.
Only kick with the IC. Analytics unlikely. No matter what they speak, hot takes turn to basic. Welcome to another installment of Turn Up the AC Hot Takes with Reason on a solo edition. All social media information will be posted in the description below. We ask that you please go ahead and hit the like and subscribe while you're at it so you can be notified when the latest content is available. So now we're at the AllStar break. I just want to give my thoughts on who I think are the front runners for the 2018-19 NBA Most Valuable Player. Now, a lot of people have put in a lot based on the stats and whatnot, but the MVP is more than just stats. So the players you see pictured on the screen, to me, are the leading three candidates for MVP this year. And as of right now, we're going to break it down of who I think is third, second, and then, of course, number one in the MVP discussion. And then I'll break down why I think each player deserves the slot that they ended up getting. So let's get right into it. Now, off top, I know a lot of you out there who are listening are going to be angry with who I have seated at number 3. Because there's a lot of people who are saying that this man is the leading candidate for MVP. But I'm going to tell you why he isn't. So coming in at number 3, I got James Harden. Listen, he's having an incredible year. If I'm not mistaken, it's the best year of his career. Putting up monster numbers. I think, I'm not sure if he's still leading the league in scoring, but I know he's up there. He has a ridiculous streak of like 31, 32 straight games of scoring 30 or more points. He's just been doing everything for his team. His usage rate is like the highest like ever of any player. Chris Paul has been out and he's still been carrying the load. He actually brought them up to the 5 seed, which is where I'm going to stop and say this is exactly why I don't believe James Harden can be the MVP. Because in the NBA, you cannot be a 5 seed or lower, no matter what your stats are looking like, and be considered the most valuable player in the league. I mean, going back 10 plus years, Kobe put up monster numbers, better than anybody in the league, and without him, the Lakers would have won 10 games, and they were like they ended up being a 7 seed 2 consecutive years, and Kobe wasn't no MVP. A lot of people thought he should have been the MVP, but they gave it to Steve Nash because he was the best player on the best team that year, record-wise. So if that's going to be the way we look at MVP, Kobe can't be an MVP despite his stats when his team is not in the top half of the conference. You can't put James Harden as an MVP when his team is sitting at 5. Now, does he have time to change this? Absolutely. If he's able to move up a couple slots, position himself right in front of Paul George in the standings, be ahead of OKC, and Milwaukee fall off a little bit, then absolutely he can be an MVP. But as of right now, I got him sitting at number 3 and on my MVP list, and we're moving on to number 2. Real quick, I wanted to make a comment about something I said earlier. I said I wasn't sure if James Harden was leading the league in scoring. He is. I just checked. He's at 36 a game, and the second highest is Paul George at 28, I believe. And but he's also taking almost 4 more shots per game than Paul George is. And coming in at number 2, I have Paul George. He's playing incredible basketball. Me being a diehard Laker fan, and I wanted him to be a Laker, but he didn't even give us the time of day. So when that happened, I thought it was a bad choice for him. I really did. But him and Westbrook is looking really good. Granted, it's the regular season, and a lot of teams don't go hard every game during the regular season. That's just real. But I think they'll win a playoff series. I wasn't sure if they would, before the season started. But at this point, I think Paul George and the way he's playing, he's putting up, obviously he's scoring, and they're winning. And Westbrook is Westbrook. He's getting his triple-double on. But I got Paul George coming in at number 2 because of what he's looking like. Before the season, I didn't have him in the top 10 players list. If you go back, we have a top 10 players list that myself and Charlie Gray did earlier before the season started, and I didn't have him nowhere in the top 10. This year, he's a top 10 player in the league, and I don't think there's an argument that you can make that takes him out of that. Now, where on the top 10 does he land? That's up to you. But he's a top 10 player in the league by far this year, and to me, he's looking like he's scratching and sniffing at that top 5 spot. He's not in it, but he's just outside of it. So I got Paul George at number 2 on the MVP list at the AllStar break. So obviously, moving on to number 1, we got Giannis. What more can you say about Giannis? He's got the Bucks at the number 1 seed. At the beginning of the season, I thought they would be a 4 seed. And that's nothing against them as a team or him. I just thought Boston would have it together. I saw, obviously, Toronto, I thought would be the number 2 seed, which they are. And then I thought the Sixers would have a better record than them as well. But I thought it would be close between them and the Sixers. But you got to give Giannis credit, man. He's having an incredible year. Second leading vote getter. He got his All-Star team going this year, so going up against Team LeBron. Yeah, man, I got him at number 1 on the list. He's playing like the best player on the best team, obviously, record-wise. The East is wide open, but the way he's playing, it's looking like you're going to have to go through Milwaukee to get anywhere, at least at this point. But we'll see what happens in the playoffs. But as of right now, this is my top 3 MVP candidates going into the All-Star break. Until next time, this has been Reason. Go ahead and comment, hate, debate, whatever you want to do. We appreciate it all. Turn up the AC hot takes. Laker Nation, we're out.